Greetings, everyone. You're now joining me, Radzi Ahmad, on TVS Correspondence. And with me, all the way from the United States of America, is Alfian Zaini, who will be bringing us all the updates on what's happening and all the goings on in the United States. Alfian, thank you for joining me. How are you today?
Thank you, Radzi. I'm good today. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How's the weather? What's it like over there right now?
It's almost zero. You feel
Zero.
at least it feels like it, and it's forecasted to be snowing tomorrow. Yes, in
Oh, that's
Washington
great.
DC. Hmm?
That's great. Okay. So I'd like to start by asking you about the Wall Street bets and GameStop debacle. That's been the hot topic in the U.S. for the past week. For those of you who are not familiar, GameStop is a retail chain selling video games, and recently it looked like a business in big trouble, as it is a retail chain selling physical copies of video games. And due to the coronavirus pandemic, and the more people buying online, the company's failure seems to be inevitable. Some savvy investment companies bet on the stock prices going down, and this is called short selling. Keeping it simple, when you bet against a stock, you can earn 100% return if it goes bankrupt. But if your losses are potentially unlimited if the price goes up. It's risky but can be profitable, but the investment companies had bet too much and didn't count on the insane gamblers from Wall Street bets who learned about this and who essentially started a war against the investment companies. Alfian, could you shed some light on what Wall Street bets is and what is exactly that they are doing?
Thank you, Radzi, for the very accurate introduction. Actually, the Wall Street Bets online, it is an online community in a message board. It's based on Reddit. It
Mhm.
has an online community of 5 million followers and has been existing since 2012. So what they have done is they drove up the stock prices of ailing companies such as GameStop, AMC, Macy's, but more predominantly in the last week was GameStop, where they see that these undervalued stock prices of GameStop uh, could be bought by commoners, not just hedge funds that are betting that they are going to crash. So what they did was they rallied the members to buy it in huge volumes, driving the prices up. Driving the prices up by buying it in huge volumes. Yeah.
Okay, so what actually is the price of a GameStop share since this debacle started? I imagine it must have skyrocketed, what with all these people buying up the shares and refusing to sell.
I'm telling you, Razi, it is insane. I wish I'm part of it. 1 year ago, the stock was worth just a mere $4 per share. Now it is worth a whopping $150 per share, and this has nothing to do at all with the performance of the company. On Tuesday, it was the most traded stock on the planet, and on Friday, it was up almost 1,600% since early January. Many of the Reddit or individual investors coming from this online community of Wall Street bets were using a Robinhood app. If you're aware of this application, it's an easy app for you to use for stock trading. So the thing with Robinhood was last Thursday, Robinhood made a decision to limit the trading on GameStop shares, making these traders uneasy. With just the options of to just sell or hold it. And this is where we are seeing the crazy fluctuations of the share prices last week.
Yeah, it seems to be a very volatile situation indeed. Okay, so what is the end game here? What are these Wall Street bets hoping for, and how do you think this volatile situation will conclude for both sides?
Essentially, it started with the with the with the aspirations of getting quick wins, from getting the prices up and then just simply sell it with some fortune, right? So as
Mm.
this is more as of a speculative gamble, it will burst one day because of the values of the GameStop shares are not really solid. They're not based on fundamentals of the companies or the performance of the companies. So in the end of the day, some people are going to lose a lot of money from this debacle. I imagine, right? So that's how it's gonna end. Somebody's gonna lose. I'm now, I hope I have a piece of cake or a piece of this cake, but this is too volatile these days to take any gamble out of it. Yeah.
So you're one of the Wall Street bets, people betting on the stock prices.
I wish I was one of them, but now that it has become a big news, I think it's gonna burst very soon. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Alfian, for the very much valuable insight. I'm sure there's a whole lot more that's going to happen in this debacle, and I will keep you viewers updated on that. Okay, so I'd like to jump on to President Joe Biden. He's entering his second week in office. He's been signing a flurry of executive orders so far, many of which I assume would be to undo what Trump has done in his 4 years as president. Could you provide details on what President Joe Biden has been doing so far, Alfian?
So on President Joe Biden, the executive actions that he has taken very first days of his administration include halting funding for the construction of Trump's border wall. That's ridiculous. And then reversing Trump's travel ban, targeting largely Muslim countries, imposing a mass mandate on federal property, ramping up of vaccination supplies, and requiring international travelers to provide proof of negative COVID-19 tests prior to traveling to the US. Those are things that he had done. Yeah.
He seems busy, very busy. It seems he's been doing a lot more in his first few weeks of office compared to Trump in his 4 years as president. I mean, that's what the sentiment people are feeling right now. Okay, so President Joe Biden is also looking to install a new cabinet soon. And seeing as he is pretty progressively leaning, what can we expect out of this new cabinet?
Yeah, Radzi, like every new administration in the world, a new leader would form his or her own new cabinet. And President Joe Biden had promised that it will look more like the country, multifaceted, multicolored. If the nominees that are nominated these days, what we expect, are confirmed, half of his cabinet members, including the VP herself, will consist of people of color. So this will again make another history as having the most diverse group ever as part of the US cabinet. There are 26 cabinet level positions altogether. And what we learned from the past couple of administrations, we can expect the cabinet formation will be confirmed within 20 days from the inauguration.
All right. Thank you, Alfian, so much for the insight. We'll be right back with more on President Joe Biden right after this short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back on TVS Correspondent with me, Radzi Ahmad, and our correspondent, Alfian Zaini, all the way from the United States of America. We left off with President Joe Biden and the actions he has taken on his home soil. But what about internationally? How has he fared so far? Alfian?
Thank you, Radzi. On the international front, China seems to be stress testing Biden on his China strategy, according to a former director of US Pacific Command's Joint Intelligence. What we have seen is China began to show its military prowess in the Asia Pacific by flying more than 2 dozens of combat aircraft near Taiwan since Biden took office. So Taiwan is a known US ally, and in addition to that, China had passed regulations for their coast guards to fire on intruding foreign vessels, and they will most likely undergo a military. The US reacted by sending an aircraft carrier strike group into South China Sea. Yeah, that is, it was reaction. The reaction was from the US.
Mm-hmm. Has there been any altercations so far from those two sides?
Thankfully, no. Hopefully there will be no escalations of from this. I think it's pretty peaceful. The regional leaders of Asia Pacific and Southeast Asia don't want anything to do with this. They just remain neutral. Nobody wants a piece of this, and I think it is good. It is that US is around to have sort of like a check and balance to China's presence in the Asia Pacific region.
Is this a particular concern to President Joe Biden, or is he more concerned about passing some legislation, especially looking at the COVID-19 situation in the U.S. right now?
Most definitely, Razi. I think the situation back at home is more pressing, and international or foreign policy, I think it's being put at the back burner. Not indefinitely, I hope, but then the focus right now is for President Joe Biden to overlook or oversee the situation closer to home, which is to pass the 1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package that would include giving out stimulus to the American people, including to make haste the delivery of vaccines to us. Yes.
All right, thank you, Alfian. So speaking of the coronavirus pandemic, the United States is the single worst hit country in the world with the highest number of infections and deaths. How is the situation right now in 2021, and has it seen any improvements, or has it continued to worsen? Alfian.
Thank you, Razi. Despite hopes of mass vaccination in 2021, the pandemic has continued to worsen, not just in the US. Even respectful viewers also know that in Malaysia, it's also worsened, right? So it is multiplied by the tens and hundreds, in the US, where the pandemic is continuing to be worse. In fact, in just the first few weeks of 2021, the US reported its highest ever numbers of daily new infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. So for a quick statistics, confirmed cases to date is 26 million. This is almost close to what we have the number of people in Malaysia, right? And the death toll for COVID-19 in the US reaches beyond 440,000. The daily death average right now is more than 3,000. So with many hospitals filled up to the capacity, health experts are begging US residents to wear masks and stay within their social distancing bubbles until more people are vaccinated. Yeah.
That's what's interesting about me, is that the Americans, it seems like they're not really taking this whole pandemic seriously. You have anti-vaxxers, you have anti-maskers.
Mm-hmm.
The sentiment there is frankly very alien compared to us in Malaysia, where we follow the government, whatever the government says, to a T. It's like a sheep mentality that has the sheep mentality that has brought South Korea to almost beating the pandemic at one point. So what do you think about this whole sentiment that the Americans are having? Are they changing their minds, or are they being more open to wearing masks and stuff like that?
Yes, I think President Joe Biden has helped a lot with signing off and the sentiment, the pressure of the people to use the mask, and also keeping the social distancing, closing some businesses down, But there's always a balance that we need to, take care of between businesses and also the people, and especially with 300 million people in the US and the sheer size of this country, it's close to impossible to do this. Although we have seen China did it, right? But we don't know what is kept under rug, right? So, but what's more worrying right now is we are fighting with known variants or mutations of the virus. We know that we are basing our research on the current vaccines on the known variants of the virus. But these days we are seeing new variants that has been detected that are more transmissible, and some research suggests that the current vaccines may not even be able to contain these emerging variants of the coronavirus. So I hope this is not going to escalate further. And I think I hope the 1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package would also include the research to combat this coronavirus towards the end. Yes.
Well, we all hope the vaccines will work themselves out to combat all the variants that are emerging and has emerged. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Alfian, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on TVS Correspondent, and thank you for the valuable insight that you have given us. Take care, and we'll see you soon.